Hey everyone, Xanagear here, back with another patch note video. They posted patch version 1.4.0 earlier today, and at the top of the screen it says small update / patch notes, which I find to be very funny considering I scrolled through the patch notes to see if it was actually small, and it seems like there's like 100 changes, so you know, I guess small is a matter of perspective. I guess compared to 50 games, updating 10 of them is small, but there's quite a bit to get into, so let's get into it. Starting with, they fixed the fill display size wasn't getting properly saved. That is an issue that's been plaguing me every time I close the game, so I'm glad they fixed that. Various other fixes and adjustments, as always, probably to do with some secrets and stuff. In Avianos, they fixed starting a custom game with castle placement set to either P1 favorite or P2 favorite would cause the game to freeze. In Bug Hunter, they fixed the incorrectly colored pixels on orange eggs, and they tweaked new difficulty jumps added at job 10 and job 13. If starting from the beginning is getting you down, try to have more fun and work less. So I think this basically prevents Bug Hunter from being too easy overall. I think people were getting to like job day 60 with little issue, so I guess this makes the game harder. In Campanella 2, they fixed an issue where you could exit a ladder and get out of bounds in the final stage. On Campanella 3, they prevented a potential soft lock on the final boss and moved the gold cherry clear check to before the ending credits. So some people were exiting the game during the credits and it wasn't saving their time or their completion status. So that's a good fix. And that means for speedruns, you don't need to wait for the credits anymore. That's great. In Caramel, they fixed an issue where player 2 would get player 1's sprite after collecting a wrench and regaining full life. In Cyber Owls, they fixed Gwyn's collision with breakable crates was fully borked. Guard in green key card room in Moscow mission did not patrol properly. Shooting Hakun during his intro dialogue would launch him irretrievably off screen for real this time. I think this is the third time that it's been in the patch notes. Hakun had an invisible pixel in his foot in his sideways facing frames. After getting knocked leftward into a wall, Hakun became stuck. Until he was reset by a player death, and Hakun no longer gets stuck in a loop trying to shoot Gwyn repeatedly, even when she's not within LOS. So I think this affects speedruns because I think that them getting stuck in a loop was used in the world record, so that'll probably be invalidated. I'm not positive. In Fist Hell, they fixed in survival mode generating snails would crash the game. Enemies would sometimes stop moving and reacting. So not much for Fist Hell, but that's good fixes. Hotfoot sometimes still crash at the start of a match, and yet another crash bug related to Jerry's wavy bag ability. In Hyper Contender, on new profiles, Braz's controls will default to consistent instead of reversed. Yeah, that's good. I like that. Basically, Braz is the flip gravity guy. In Magic Garden, this is the big one for me because I am officially a Magic Garden main. I have only played Magic Garden for the past month. I think the last time I opened another game was Golfaria to practice some speedrun stuff, and other than that, it's just Magic Garden. I think I have like 25 hours played in Magic Garden. I was on the Magic Garden episode of the podcast Eggplant Show, so you can go check that out. I'll put a link in the description below. So, Magic Garden fixes, here we go. They fixed sometimes the jump would stop short and you'd land on the adjacent tile. And finally, what I requested, or what I hoped would come in the future in the last patch note video. When placing potions, the game will more thoroughly search for an empty tile and actively avoids the player's position. Also, potions will not get activated by the player while the potion is appearing. This way the player has more control over when they activate potions. Let's go! I'm so excited. So, in Magic Garden score chasing, whenever you are saving up all your potions, if a potion spawned on you, you'd just eat it right away, wasting a potion, and then you'd have to reset, theoretically, if you want to get the maximum amount of score. So this is the best. This is a great change. Thank you devs. In Minion Max, they fixed if you collected an item immediately after breaking it out of a rock, then the item would always look like a backpack regardless of what it actually was. If you put a train robber in your backpack, these are very normal sentences, it had no icon in the top left. Prior patches could corrupt items saved in Minnie's backpack so that they would spawn the wrong secondary item. For example, a fungal block might spawn a random object instead of the mushroom it is supposed to. Amoebas could eat Gearface. On the other hand, this was very funny and cool. On the other hand, it allowed players to bypass the entire final level, so speedrun invalidated. Because of an error in a prior patch, Minnie could no longer shrink directly on the doorknob, post opening the way to Doorknob Palace, and multiple cases of soft locks caused by Minnie entering a place that was too small for the size of the item she was carrying. So Minion Max continues to get a ton of fixes. It makes sense. It's probably the most mechanically complex game in the entire collection. It's got a lot going on. In Mooncat, they fixed one collision tile that was stretched erroneously. Ninpeck fixed a bug where you could revive excessive players. Onion Delivery added a missing dirt collision box. Planet Zoldath, they fixed occasionally an NPC might drop a map part somewhere the player couldn't reach, and it was possible to trade a map part twice from the same NPC. Rail Heist, they fixed the soft lock when rolling onto your horse but blocked by a wall. Pushing an object at the end of the turn timer could lead to the player being active during the lawman's turn. Ooh, I wish I would have known about that. That's sick. I wish they wouldn't have patched that. In Valve Race, you could receive a second red coin from the Red Knight. Fixed a crash when flipping a boulder trap again before the boulder is finished falling. Why would you want to drop a boulder twice? Come on, guys. Crash when Abyss Lord counterattacked without ever having used his bite attack before. Exiting west after entering the Void Room from the south placed you in a wall. I've seen that one. Obtaining the Red Star Sword with a full inventory did not add it to your inventory and made it unobtainable. Oh, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry to whoever that happened to. They fixed a crash when the player tried to sit on the throne under a certain circumstance. In Waldorf, they fixed chests open stat wasn't incrementing properly, making it impossible to get 3 out of 3 chests. And using the harpoon to reach the ending dialogue scene resulted in a soft lock. And finally, final patch note, Warp Tank fixed a potential soft lock if you died at the same time as Big Tank. And they fixed an issue where you could buffer a warp off of a disappearing block where you're not supposed to be in control, which could also result in a crash. So lots of crash fixes, and the Magic Garden change that allows the score runs to be a lot more consistent. It's a great patch. Shout out to John Perry, the developer, for being so communicative in the Discord. He seems to be just grinding on these fixes. Shout out to the devs. This game has been great. I have not been playing it as much. I've been taking a bit of a break. I kind of burnt myself out by playing 250 hours in a month, but that's fully normal. I should not play it consistently after playing it so much. But I'll be back to score chasing in Magic Garden and speedruns in Campanella 2. I'll get some more cherries. I started uploading my VODs to my VODs channel. I started playing Dwarf Fortress, which I'm not even going to get into it. But yeah, more patch note videos, more UFO 50 videos in the future. Maybe we'll have some fun stuff coming up. And I'll be on the Eggplant Show again. Yeah, lots of fun stuff. Subscribe, all that fun stuff. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.